And guess what happened? Yesterday I made a video and I applied to have, oh, now it escapes me what, a membership on my YouTube. So, wow, that's a bunch of ugly looking stuff, huh? Behind me. So I just ignore the rusty old freezer. So I applied for a YouTube membership and they they denied me at first, and it was because I wanted to do giveaways. I wanted to my members, I wrote that I wanted to give giveaways because I really, when it boils down to it, I'm afraid. See, I want to give away some stuff to my people, my friends, my family, my YouTube family. And if I keep it public like this, I'm afraid that the way I'm going to do it is going to possibly give it to somebody that just joined. Even though that's not a bad thing, I rather give it to the ones I know for a long time or have known me for a long time. Good morning from Boring. Yes, it's not boring though. You're not boring. Believe me, you're not boring. And I have a feeling that means boring, like boring holes, right? Hi, Cy from Ireland. Hey, well, thank you. Thank you, Cy. Yeah, so I did that. I did that. I did the membership thing. How's the audio, by the way? Yesterday, I forgot to turn on the microphone, so I was using the phone mic. Hey, Adolf, did you get that video? Did you see that one where the guy was talking to? He wrote in that email. Cool, right on. I worry about my audio. I don't know why. Ever since that day where it was cutting out on the key points. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but when I started talking about certain things, my audio started cutting out. And it seemed like it was right on the money. Good morning, Ivy. Farmer Fred. Hey. So I forgot to turn on the microphone on 2 videos, and I was using my phone mic, and I didn't realize it till I was breaking everything down, and I realized the mics were off. And I was turning them off to save the battery, even though they have 7 hours of battery. So this time I turned them all on, plugged them all in, and let them go. And I know they're recording to the actual microphone unit, but I don't use that unless I'm recording. Yeah, isn't that a trip where that little the little girl baby, like 3-year-old Bigfoot came running at this guy to give him a hug, and then the mom snatched the baby right as he was about to hug this baby Bigfoot. What a great story. Oh my gosh, man. Talk about getting myself off track. Wow. But that was amazing. If that's real, that's amazing. And you all should go check that guy out and listen to that one. It's How to Hunt, and it's his latest one where he talks about he grew up with these Bigfoot family. But I digress. And have you ever heard, like, here I'm going to go off on another tangent. Have you ever noticed that the people that want to sound real intelligent on YouTube, they say I digress a lot, right? So, but I digress for reals. I don't want to make fun of anybody. Not today, anyways. Maybe sometimes, but not today. I'm not to make fun of anybody. So, I applied to have a membership on my YouTube channel, and something it rubs me the wrong way how YouTube does stuff. Like, they take 30% of what people give you, and 50% if they give you chat things. Good morning, Digger. Yeah, howtohunt.com. That's it. That last story is a doozy if you haven't heard it. I listen to it every day. I don't see eye to eye with the guy though on sharing people's channels. Like I just shared his channel, but only, and then I agree a little bit on his stance on television people. For some people, not all people. Some people are genuinely fun to watch on TV. And so what? You know, we all know. I mean, we're big boys. We put our pants on, and you know, with each we're all the same. We put our pants one leg at a time, and we're big boys. You know, we can make up our own mind. I know some people are gullible, and they believe every last single thing like it's real. But hey, I work behind the scenes. For years and years and years, since the 80s, I've been doing videos, and it's not all real. It's almost all fake. Or exaggerated, I should say, embellished. That's what it is. It's not all fake, but it's embellished and made to be sensational, you know. So I started this, I applied for a membership, and I got an email saying denied. I mean, it was like in red letters with a red exclamation point, denied. I thought, I guess that's how it's going to be. You know, YouTube doesn't want me to get anywhere. And I don't care, really. You know, I'm not in it to make money. The membership's not really in it to make money. They just, in order to apply, you have to put a monthly amount. And I put it really low because I'm not in it for the money, really. Kinda, I'm not in the money for it, really. I really am kinda, but not in the way most people are in it for the money. Like I have this huge backyard out here. I should show you. You guys want to see my backyard? I'm embarrassed because I don't take care of it. It's really huge and it's hard for me to do, but let's see. Let's see if I can. There we go. You see how big that backyard is? We're going to take out the swing. We cut a tree down. That's the big pile of tree brush on the side. We've been cleaning it up. We got it all mowed down, and it's huge. I mean, it's a big yard to take care of. But you see how big that yard is? I could put a nice big shed, like a 10 by 20 in there somewhere. And I'm also going to start putting trails with rose gardens and all on drip. And it's too much to water, so I don't water it. I'm going to try to make it all little trails with, and we do, Digger, we do. Usually, we didn't have one this year. Something was up with the sun. You see that tree right there, how it looks all dead looking? The sun was burning the leaves on everything this year, and it burned our garden up. And there was a pool right there where that bald spot is. But I could put a 10 by 20 shed out here and put my leather into it, make a little place where I could set up and do videos out of the elements, you know, out of the weather. And that basically, that's what my membership's all about, really, is, and I talked to my wife about it, as I'm only going to take the money that comes from YouTube and I'm going to put it into a savings account and save up until I can build a shed. I don't think really that we have enough time for that. I think a lot of things are going to go south on us this month, next month. By the end of the year, everything we know is going to be changed. I can pretty much guarantee that. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a huge backyard. It's a lot of work to take care of. But I mean, it doesn't look bad for, it could be a whole lot worse, if you know what I'm saying. But it's huge. Huge enough to put a really nice shed, whatever you want to call it. So that was my plan, you know, make whatever YouTube pays me. And lately, I mean, for the last 4 years, I haven't made any money, but I'm $3 away from getting paid, getting YouTube paid. And it probably happened next month, because I've been earning about $2 or $3 a month. And the threshold to get paid with YouTube is $100. So when you reach $100 between the 21st and the 26th of the month, they pay you. I used to make $800 a month, average, between 4 and 8, depending on how much content I put on. And I wasn't doing it for the money, but one day I decided to look and see if I made money at all, and I realized they were holding money, and I thought, man, I'm going to take that money out, just because I'm not just going to let YouTube keep it. If they're paying for the ads and all that, then I'm taking that money. But then they decided to start shadow banning me, and it dwindled down to $2 a month. They don't pay you till you make 100. I'm sneaking up or creeping up on 100 right now. But I've been praying about it. I've been praying about putting a shed, only I can't afford it. I can't even afford really payments to put one at the moment, because I take care of too many people, and it pretty much taps me out. Anything extra I have usually goes for food, or the bills are, the power bill's higher, the water bill's higher. The more people you add, the more higher everything is. So I can't even hardly put $10 away, but I thought that would take me a long time anyways, so it wasn't worth it. But I started praying about it, and I know God can supply a shed. Anything we ask for, he can apply. He can give it to you. I mean, he could put it on somebody's heart, a total stranger that's driving by, and then they turn around and come back and say, you know what, God told me to give you this, right? And give you enough money to put a shed. I mean, I've had that happen to me a few times in my life. So I know he can, but there's other ways too. I don't tell God how to do anything. But he kind of started putting it on my heart or my brain to use YouTube, because he also told me to start talking about him on YouTube more. So I am going to do that. But the membership, it's $2.99 a month. That's not even huge. Maybe I should make it more. I don't know. I can't really go much less, because they don't. I think the lowest you can go is $1.99, and I don't want to be the lowest, but I don't want to go up. I don't think the sky's the limit on how much that you could put it. So it told me that I could appeal their denied, and it gave me a hint that usually YouTube doesn't tell you anything about why they do anything. And if you want to know, you really got to dig and search and see if you can figure it out. But this time they hinted to me. They told me you're not allowed to you're not allowed to promote giveaways. And that's one of the things, excuse me. That's one of the things that I put down as one of the things I wanted to do with that. In fact, it's probably the most, or the only reason that I put that, because I want to guarantee. Thank you, Bolt Gun. How you doing, brother? I want to guarantee that it goes to people that have been following me for a long time. I don't want to do a random giveaway and then give it to somebody that just joined because they heard there was a giveaway, and then they wind up winning it. And the reason I say that is, at the casino, and I was the marketing director, I would do these really huge, I'm doing great, I would do these really huge giveaway promotions, and I would do about 4 a year. So I would run a promotion for about 3 or 4 months and build it all up, and then give away something huge, like 150,000, or a Corvette, and a boat, or a pickup truck, a fishing boat, and all the fishing gear plus $20,000 or something like that, or just something really cool. And it didn't matter to me who won, because it was my job to do. And what I started finding was, on nearly all of the giveaways that I did, there would be people in there, like the regulars, that would come in daily almost, and probably spend their house payment every month. I never could get that, why they would do that. But they would, and they're always in the poorhouse because they're trying to hit a big jackpot. I digress. So what I found was, I had to say that. I had to say I digress. What I found was, so there would be, a husband and a wife. This is just an example. A husband and a wife. They come in every day. They have 6,000. They earn, every day they can put in 2 tickets that they would give as they came in. They would get 2 tickets to go in the drawing. And as they played, every dollar, or so many dollars or hours, the system would give them more entries, and then they could take their player club card and go, and they could get the entry, fill out their name and everything on it, drop it in the big tumbler thing I had that I was going to draw out of to give it away. And I mean, some people would have 6,000 entries to win, and some more than that. But almost every single time, say this husband and wife, they played the whole entire time, they have the most tickets than anybody in there, you would think odds would be that they would have really good chances of winning. But on the day of the giveaway, they brought a friend. And that friend only had 2 tickets, the ones that he got when he walked in the door of the casino. But stayed there and gambled a little bit, but they're the ones that don't want to be tracked. They don't want any more tickets. They're not going to come back ever again. And so when the drawing happens, guess who wins? The guy with the only 2 tickets. And I mean, it was mixed real good too. It wasn't like they were right on top. This drum I had, it spun, and it was made out of clear acrylic plastic. And I mean, we would put our hands in there and mix them all around and tumble that thing for like 5 minutes, talking about we're going to give it away. And I would pull somebody out that's standing close by and say, you want to draw the ticket? And they would reach in and pull it out. That way I couldn't say I rigged it at all. I mean, everything was straight up. So knowing this information, that almost always the person that came in for the one day with the 2 tickets wins, I have to do it. I don't want that to happen. So I made a membership. And when I took the giveaway thing off of the application to have a membership on my YouTube, they approved it. I didn't think they were going to, because it seems like they fight me tooth and nail on every last single thing, but they approved it. And it was almost like the computer figured it out. Like, it didn't go before anyone. I hit submit the appeal and redetermination on this, and in 2 seconds a thing popped up and said, congratulations, yay, you have your own membership. Do you want to get started right now? So I have one now. And you don't have to stay a member. Like, if you want to help me build a shop shed thing, you can at $2.99 a month. I will in there. There's perks and badges and all this kind of stuff, and I'll tweak it. I will do more videos for just the members that only. I will be putting things up for the members only. I also will be doing the word that got me denied the first time. You know, they were saying you can't do giveaways. Well, that is probably what I'm going to do in there anyways, but I'll do it through the video that will be for the members only, that the public won't see, and that's how I'll do it. Kind of like how I'm doing right here, where I say I'm going to give something away. I won't type giveaway on anything, only because I know if I type giveaway in the title, there'll be a whole bunch of people that'll join to win the giveaway, and usually, or how the odds are, according to all the giveaways I did at the casino, it was the person that just came in that got it, and nobody that was the old timers or regulars got it. So I don't want that to happen. I want to skew the odds towards the actual people that follow me the longest and actually have been supporting me for a very long time. I don't want it to go to the newbie, even though that's cool. I mean, that's really cool that they did. I really want it to go to the people that have been supporting me for a long time. And that's the only reason that I would do a promotion like this, where I would promote my channel, is to put a shop in, put a dedicated place where I can do videos. And then I'm the promotion king. You could ask Jules. I think I saw Jules pop in. She used to work with me at the casino. She was the countess of the money, or, you know, I think that she was in the accounting department. So I called them the countess of the money. They count the money, keep track of the money. They also tell me how much my budget can be. They would be the ones that would rein me in, reel me down. Don't let me get too wild. You know, the accountants. I fought with them more than anybody in the whole casino, is the accountants. I always wanted to give away the whole casino, and spend all kinds of money on advertising, and not out of line. More like how the other casinos were spending, but they were tight, real tight. You had to take a crowbar into the meeting with you so you can like pry them off of, you know, the amount they wanted to give, which was hardly anything. Yeah. But I wanted to let everybody know that that's what I'm doing, and the goal is the shop, somewhere I could work on leather, and part of it is like with the membership people, I'm probably going to turn on the camera as I'm working on leather and sit and chat with you guys, you know, nearly every day, probably just for members only. And I'm going to chat, and we'll have coffee and chat about anything as I work on leather projects. And some of those leather projects that I work on, I'll be giving to my members. But it won't be a giveaway, right? Right, YouTube? It's not going to be a giveaway. I'm not going to do that. I will not go against their rules. Right? Everybody got that? So as I work on the leather, everyone will get to see the process and what I do and how I do it. And I'll explain things and take questions and talk about anything that everybody wants to talk about to my core people, because I know that's the only one that's going to join a membership. And I wish I could do it without charging, but can't get around that. And then if I have to charge, I might as well make it go to something, a goal, like a shop, something that's way out of reach for me, but something that people won't mind helping me attain. And that's really all I got. All I wanted to talk about. And there is a couple other things And that's what's coming, and that might blow up everything that I am talking about. But God told me, plan like he's not coming, plan accordingly. Like, he may tarry, and it might not be in my lifetime that anything happens. But that's not what he's showing me. He's showing me that by the end of the year, and so I'm just going to plan accordingly and act like he's not, or, live like he's not going to come along, and our whole world and lives aren't going to be changed, because maybe it might not, because I don't know, and I don't know for sure, and I don't know a date. But I know what he's been showing me, and what I feel, and what I see in the news and the world. And we're on the edge we're at a tipping point. Something's about to break. And all I can say about that is Jesus is going to be a key to unlock everything. I mean, you won't have anything. If you don't get to know him, then it's going to be harder for the people that don't know him. But this is all that's happening is for us to turn to him. So the people that don't have him, they're going to wind up sooner or later in this turning to him, because it's going to become obvious that all he's doing is waking everybody up to him. It isn't about elections and all that. This is actually a shaking to bring him to the forefront and to everyone's attention, and everyone is going to come to a decision, whether they like it or not. And so that's where we're at. I actually believe that's where we're at. Might as well get a jump start on it and make it easier by go ahead and start talking with them and being his friend. One of my kids was telling me, how can you be God's best friend if he's God, and he's, you're supposed to be worshiping him and everything like that. It was like, well, you're best friends with your wife or husband. You're best friends with your boss. You could be best friends with, say, Mr. T, and, DJ T. You could be friends with him and be best friends, but he still might be calling shots over you, and you might still respect him and look up to him, but still be his friend, right? Same with God. He's our creator, but he wants to have a relationship with us on a level that we could hardly even imagine. Better than your best friend, better than your boss, better than even your significant other. And at the same time, be worshiping him and loving him in that way as well. Looking up to him and to him for your very existence and everything that goes with that. But at the same time, also being really good friends and confiding in all your secrets and thoughts and telling jokes and having fun. I mean, that's really what we were created to be. We weren't created for any other reason. And it gives you a hint in Genesis. If you look when he created Adam, he tells you why he created Adam and what he liked to do with Adam. What was it that he liked to do with Adam? Go read about it. And then he created Eve because he felt Adam needed something else, a companion besides just him. Besides God, he needed a companion, and created Eve. And then he created him to create more humans, so that because he's on a level where he's everywhere all at the same time. He could be everywhere. So he could be fellowshipping or hanging out with me and you and, 8 billion other people all at the same time. He has that ability. So if people think, well, he won't have time for me because he's busy with everyone else. No, he can be with you and everyone else all at the same time. We can't even imagine what his abilities are. And it's beyond our thinking capacity to be able to think like that. But we can kind of wrap our mind around a little bit of it and realize that we aren't going to know everything until maybe later. Like in this life, we can't know much, but in the next phase of our life, we can, we can be hanging out with him and he'll reveal all kinds of stuff to him. I look forward to it because the universe is vast and we really don't know what his creation is, like how vast is. We might be the only beings in the universe, but I doubt it. Not with the universe being so vast. And I'm an explorer by heart. I love to explore, so like the universe is going to be my playground. I want to explore every inch of it. And if we're beings that are immortal, like live forever, I can spend an eternity searching and looking and enjoying God's creation all throughout the universe and probably never see it all in all of my eternity, but I'm going to try. And I also can't wrap my mind around that, even about how vast and how long will it take, and will I ever see all of it. But I'm going to enjoy every single minute of doing that, because I'm this curious explorer type. I think that's why I like to search for Bigfoot, is the unknown, and also get to enjoy the mountains. It's my favorite place in the world besides the beach. But the mountains take first place over the beach. But I think that's why I like looking for the big people, because of the challenge to it, and also exploring the places I love to be, the mountains. And I mean, me and Adolf, we cruise the mountains all the time. It's so fun. And I have so much footage that I haven't shared that I probably will be here coming as the winter hits and I'm locked in more because the weather's worse and I have more time and it gets dark early. I'll be doing things like sharing old videos, and I've saved them up on purpose, But yeah, so I wanted to get on and tell everybody that, and try out my microphone again, since I forget to plug it in almost every single time. I got my Yeti cup full of coffee. So how's everybody's week going so far? Mine, absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna work in the backyard here a little bit. I have that tree they cut down. I gotta stack the wood up, and we're having garbage dump day, or whatever they call it, cleanup, where you can take stuff out and throw it at the curb. I have a lot of shit to throw out there, and my wife's been doing the same thing. I wanna see that shed out there. Let's see if I can see that shed way out there. Oh no, let me see if I can. Oh, I can. There's a little shed with lockers out there, and I want to tear that down. I want to take this swing down. I want to get rid of that pile. I want to cut this tree we cut down. For some reason, the roots are growing up along the fence. I want to cut that up. You can see the wood. And then something else I'm going to do is start up a worm farm again. And not a huge one like when I was in the mountains, but I'm going to start doing an earthworm farm. And that's going to be like, I'm going to start some playlists on Hi, Amanda. I'm going to start some playlists on YouTube where I have a leather playlist. I've been thinking about changing the name of this channel because I really don't want to. When I named this channel, I was naming it after what I really was doing, right? I mean that, but since Paranormal Central went south on me, everything went south like that, and I kind of want to start fresh. I don't want to like restart my channel and I think I want to rename it, and I don't know the name, and maybe I could have a contest on that, some kind of contest. I don't know. If you guys have ideas, put them on the comments on if I should rename it or if I want to do a contest. Like if you guys have ideas on that. I kind of want input from everyone on this. I'm not going to do it like right away either. It's just something I'm thinking about and been praying about. I kind of, and I even researched on YouTube about changing the channel because I never named this channel anything else. It's only been this name for, see, I started in 2012, so I don't know how long that is. We're in 2024, at least 12 years it's been this name. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, and if you have any ideas for names, or if if I should pick a winner or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to be saying the giveaway thing. I don't want YouTube to algorithm me out of this again. I don't know how they do things, so I'm kind of afraid to say stuff. That's actually why I started the other channel, because I was getting a feeling that I speak my mind, and I think everyone should be able to speak their mind. And it makes me mad or angry that we can't speak our mind, that we have to talk in circles and spell things and play games, to be able to speak your mind on some subjects. I think we're adults. We're not little kids. We don't need protection from each other, or we actually need protection from the people that are trying to censor us and hold us down. They got their thumb on us. We actually that's what needs to change, not us. They're making us change, and we shouldn't change. They should change. They're changing the wrong way. They're trying to use a power over us that I think is way wrong. And I feel that way for every country in the world. I think men and women of the world should be able to have all these freedoms. I think God gave us the rights. There shouldn't be any man or government in the land that can, or even business entity or whatever, they shouldn't be able to do that to people. That's a form of slavery and power and control over people that nobody should have. Nobody. And I actually been praying on that against this, because I actually believe it's coming from the dark side, and I've been praying against the dark side, and we all should be praying against the dark side all the time, and praying for our families. The attacks are going to be coming. Not only is everything going to change, but the attacks on your family are going to step up. I mean, alcoholism type thing is going to get worse. Drug use is going to get worse. Every kind of anger, jealousy, rage, all that kind of stuff is going to ramp up. It's going to ramp up. So we need to start identifying these things and praying them down, because we have that authority to stop these things. And it's not by our own power, it's by his power. He gave us authority. He gave us the right to use his name against these things. He told us to go out in the world and take it. And we don't, because the powers that be that work for the dark side, they tell us we can't, we don't. Even though they'll use it on us, but we don't fight back. If we fought back, they would be powerless. We could actually take their power away just with words, And I talk about that all the time, and to give an example, just one example, and I have many, many, many examples. Here at on your own property, on your house, you don't have to have any of that. You can get rid of all of it. And I mean, like, you can get rid of it and even keep it from happening. Like, one of my sons had a girlfriend, and I think she was possessed. She was crazy, absolutely crazy. And she really was destroying this kid. But they would come over, and she would flip out and start cussing and wanting to fight, physical fight, and just causing all kinds of problems. And one day, I realized it was jealousy, anger, and rage that was controlling this thing. And I think God revealed that to me. So in Jesus' name, I commanded jealousy, rage, and anger out. And anything else that was attached with it had to go off the property. From property line to property line, I commanded off. Within 2 seconds, I was sitting on the front porch. Within 2 seconds, the front door flew open. This girl comes running by me straight out to the street, and then started, walking back and forth right at the edge of the property along the curb, back and forth, yelling and screaming, "Come out here and fight with me. Come on out here, come on out here, you coward," and cussing and screaming. It was like, whoa, that worked. And she couldn't come back on the property. When I prayed again, and I forbid those demons from, I didn't forbid her, I was only forbidding the demons to come on my property. So in this few weeks, they had separated, and they had a child together, and she would come and drop the child off or pick the child up from here, but she wouldn't pull in the driveway. She wouldn't step 1 foot on this property. And that, I'm taking notes, like, wow, this is cool. Well, one day my wife took the little grandson out to her, or no, she bring the grandson, was delivering the grandson, and my wife told her, "Oh, come on in for a minute," and invited that back in. From that point on, she was back, and she would step on the property and come in the house, and she was good. She was behaving, or the demons were behaving, not her. It wasn't her, I don't think. It was them. Then one day, when she invited her, a couple of weeks after she was able to come back on the property, she flipped out again. And I was back here in the back. And I heard it going on in the house. And I just said the same prayer, one sentence, like, I command anger, jealousy, rage to get off the property, from property line to property line, and you can't come back. And that's it, in Jesus' name. That's all I said. And I heard the door slam, and then my wife and son came out here. They're like, "Hey, did you just pray?" Because I told them what I did the last time. They're like, "Did you just pray?" I'm like, "Yeah, you need to come and see this." And when I went out there, she wasn't at the curb to my house. She was all the way across the street, pacing back and forth, yelling and screaming. She couldn't even get close to the curb that time. And I told everyone, afterwards, don't ever invite her back. Because as long as they don't have an invitation, they can't come on your property. They can't do anything. They're powerless. That works with all kinds of stuff. It doesn't just work on that. You can pray all kinds of stuff. You can pray healings. You could command cancer to get out of you. And cancer, you could command cancer in your body to die. And as long as you believe that it has to die because you said so in Jesus' name, it will die. You won't die, it will die. You have to have that kind of faith. And we're coming into a time where you're going to have that kind of faith. Otherwise, it'll be like being in the ocean right at the surf and big waves coming in, throwing you about and tossing you around, and you won't be able to stand up. It's going to be like that. But if you stand on your faith, the waves will hit you, but you will not fall down. You'll be watching everybody else get mixed up, but you won't be. You'll be a rock. And all those people that are in your vicinity that can see you standing there and they're being tossed all over the place and all kinds of things happening to them, they'll be asking you, how did you do that? And they want that. And that's when you get to share how you do it to them. And that is what all this is all about, is God is causing things to happen so that people wake up to him, because we forgot him. The world has forgot what you have, forgot your inheritance. Remember, he created us to be friends with him, and we were supposed to take authority over everything, all the beasts, the bugs, everything. We have authority over everything in the earth. But the devil has made everybody think that he's the one that rules the earth. The earth is ours. It's our inheritance. We were created on the earth to have the earth. We just have to start exercising. We have to take it back. That's all we have to do, is take it back. It's ours. We just don't know that because we've been duped, tricked, brainwashed, everything, Starts when you're a little kid in school. They start indoctrinating you to forget. And they've changed history. They've done all kinds of stuff to make us forget who we really are and what's ours. And they don't want us to find out, but we're getting ready to have a crash course in finding out what's really ours and what authority we really have and how we can take it back. And I can't wait. I actually have been waiting for this for at least 10 years. Maybe 20. Let's see, 1987, the same year I saw Bigfoot, is the same year I found God, and he gave me my first vision. And I probably should share that vision. We're at 48 minutes. I'm going to share a vision, my very first vision. And I was in drugs and alcohol. I was in and out of jail every weekend, even though I worked in law enforcement at the time. I was in that training. I was actually quit the force, but only I was working in training the security guards at that time. And so all the cops knew me. I mean, my dad was a sheriff, a deputy sergeant. My uncle was a sergeant. I worked in there. I grew up running around in there like a Boy Scout, but they called it an explorer. An explorer guy, you wear a little county, like a cop uniform, but it said explorer where the badge goes. You didn't have a badge. But I mean, I grew up in there. Everybody knew me. So it was embarrassing to get arrested every weekend and not even remember how I got to jail. I didn't even remember how I got to jail. I mean, I couldn't remember. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like that. But I would not remember going to jail. I remember heading out and gonna have a good time, and probably the first couple of hours. But I never knew when I got home. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember what my night was like. I don't know. I didn't know anything. And then I would hear later. Either I would hear when I was in jail, and I would come to in jail and be like, oh no, not again. I'm in here, But it was embarrassing. Or I would wake up at home and I think, I didn't do anything, but I would still get it. My wife would be on me, and my friends would be like, "Man, you asshole," you know. So was I. Oh my God, I got arrested in front of everybody, and I actually got put in jail for 30 counts of attempted manslaughter with a vehicle. They told me I was going to be in prison for 35 years, and I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I remember being in jail and coming to in jail, but I don't remember what happened. But I guess I did do that. And that's actually the day I found God. That day I had enough. I had tried to quit and everything, and I couldn't quit. I I could quit for a little while, but I always would wind up doing it again and again and again. And I didn't really believe in God. I wasn't raised in church, but I got out. They let me out of jail, and they told me they weren't going to press charges. District attorney told me that, and they're all my friends. I know them, and they're not being easy on me. They didn't let me out because they were being easy on me. They told me that I had started a fight with the worst gang in our area. They will kill you and your whole family. And I started a fight with them, and then tried to run them and their family. I was running over their blankets, and they said I was a bad guy. I deserve everything I'm getting. That's what he told me. He said, you're going to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, because they're going to get you. When they find, he said they're either going to get you in jail because a lot of them are in there and they control the jail, or if I let you out, he goes, you have a fighting chance that way. If I put you in jail, you're dead. But if I let you go, you have a. So he's being a little bit nice, right? So he let me out and let me on my own, and then he told me, you better watch your back, because they are coming for you. You almost ran over their baby, right? But that led me to God. And it was probably a couple of weeks later, I was on my knees. I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to talk to God. I didn't know anything. And I was praying to him, and I was thanking him, because that day that I asked God, I told him, if you're real, I'm sitting right outside the jail. Nobody will pick me up. Everybody had enough of me. That was it. My wife said, when you get home, me and the kids are gone. She wasn't. God made it where she had to stay. But she didn't trust me for 6 years, at least, maybe even longer. I mean, she had hardly nothing to do with me because of how I was. And my friends, the same. Except for my party friends. Some of them, they stayed my friend for a little while. But when they found out I didn't drink and party anymore, that's when they got mad at me and told me, get out of here, dude. We don't want nothing to do with you. So they kicked me away because I didn't party. But all the other ones, they kicked me away because I brought the cops, I brought trouble. I would even punch out my own best friend, And they said, I don't remember. But they say, you didn't like what we were saying, so you just got up and pow, and the fight would be on. And it was like, I feel bad. You know how long I was on my knees asking for forgiveness for all that I can't remember. So I couldn't be specific. I only could ask for forgiveness for what I knew. But now, the vision. So I'm praying and praying and praying, and I'm laying on my back in bed, and in front of me is one of those clocks with the red numbers, digital clock, and it's sitting up on a dresser, and I'm looking at that, and I'm praying, and I didn't know you're supposed to shut your eyes when you pray. So I was praying with my eyes open, but I was, looking in that direction, and all of a sudden that faded out. And when I came to, I was standing inside of the guy I bought drugs from house. And it was an old man. We called him Old Man Red. His name was Red. He was a big old guy with red hair, and I had been buying drugs since I was 15 from this guy, and now I'm 27. Okay. And I hadn't been back to his house probably 3 weeks. And so I come, so the red lights fade out, and I fade in, and I'm in this guy's living room, and we always went in his bedroom, which was right off the living room. Like, you come in the front door, and then right to the left is his bedroom door, and then he would keep everything in there. And I was like his best friend, which says a lot, right? I'm like his best friend. So he's like, hey, come on in, and I walk in, and I'm in a vision, and I know I'm not, this isn't real, I don't think. And he's like, come on over, sit on the bed, I got such and such, this and that, come on, sit down. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm not going to sit down. And I started backing up, and then he got mean with me. He's like, get over here, and he started saying that, and I was like, what? Started to freak me out, because then his voice changed, and it was like a demon, and and his whole face changed. I'm like, whoa, oh man. And I started to run. I turned and I started running. And as I turned to start to run, then he started laughing like the devil laugh, ha ha, and I own you, and you're not going to escape, and saying all this stuff. And oh my God, it was like that. Every word he said was like hitting the back of my ankle, propelling me forward in the run. And I hit that door, and then I turned right, and I went out the front door, and as I was running out and I got on the walk heading towards the street, everything faded again. And then when I came, everything faded, reef came in. I don't know how to describe it. I'm in a church parking lot, and the sun is low in the sky, and all the shadows are long, and I didn't know where I was. I knew where I was. I was familiar with the streets, the corner, but I wasn't familiar with this church. I didn't even know this church existed, really. So everything fades in, and I actually had turned around, and everything started fading, I stopped and I turned around, and I could see Red's house, and it faded out, and then everything's coming back in, and it's the sunset, and the sun is setting, and I turned around and I could see my shadow on the building of this church, and I turned back around, and there's people coming from everywhere, all down the street, and there's no fences, no anything blocking, and I could see people walking down the street, and they're all coming towards me, but past me. And as I look around, they're going in the church. They're lined up to get in the church. And it's like, as far as you could see down the streets, people coming down every avenue, they're coming to this church, and they're lined up. And I thought, wow, what are they all going in the church, and I knew they were going around the side of the building. I didn't know they were lined up to go in the doors. I went around, and what was weird is there was a lot of people in the parking lot of the church, and they just like going to a concert, where you go to a big concert and everybody's all lined up, and several lines going to the gate. It was like that going into this church. But as I was walking around, everyone was looking at me, and they parted and opened up and made room for me. They're all staring at me as I went around, and they parted. I was like, wow. And then I realized they're all going in the church. And I started making my way, and I was just going to go like cut in front of everybody and go inside the church. And as I got to the door, everything faded again. And this time where I went to from that fade into the next scene, I guess what you call it, I was floating over a hospital, and Jesus was with me. He was behind me, but I never looked at him. I know he was behind me though. And I, I'm looking, and I don't know which hospital. And then he starts talking to me, and he tells me about the church. He says, I'm going to show you what's coming in the future. He says, the church are good. That's the people seeking me. That's going to be seeking me in the future, in a future time. Lots of people are going to be looking for me, and that all those people lined up in the church was representing the millions or billions that are going to be searching for God. He goes, and now he goes, I want to show you what you're going to be doing when the people start searching for me. This is what you're going to be doing. And I'm like, okay, like kind of tripping, because it was so real. I mean, it was all in color and everything. We were floating. He goes, okay, now when we go in this is a hospital. Because we're going to pray for everyone in the hospital, and they're going to be healed, and the hospital is going to clear out. I couldn't even imagine what that is. I don't even know what are you going to say, right? Like, are we going to pray, like touch everyone pray? Or I had no idea what we were about to do. And we started sinking down, and we went through the roof, and we landed on the top floor inside the hospital. There's all these people going around. It looked like ICU, like an ICU part of the hospital. And there was some people walking around with their robes, and you know how it's kind of open in the back, and it was hustling and bustling, And he said, now reach out your hand and pray that everyone be healed.
I have.
So I did. And all of a sudden, these people started running out of the room with their robes, their whatever it is that hospital clothes. And they were all happy, and they were running to the elevator. And even the nurses and doctors were running to the elevator. And then we dropped through the floor into the next floor, and we did the same thing, and the same thing happened. And then we went through every floor. We got to the bottom floor, and we're facing the front door of the hospital, and it was an automatic, big, giant automatic door. And he says, watch. He goes, the hospital is clearing out. He goes, that's how powerful I am, but I need people that has faith to be able to do this. He says, not everybody has the faith. He goes, but I want everyone to have this faith. Because I want you to be faithful and use what I showed you and the way I showed you. Just rebuking cancer, rebuking sickness, disease, death. He told me that there was people that were in there that had died, but they came back to life. He told me, you will bring people back. You will call life back into their body. Now, he's telling me this, people are running by, and the hospital is emptying out, and they were just, everyone, the doctors, the nurses, everyone was leaving, everyone. And all of a sudden it started to fade, and I was like, wait, I want to talk to you. I want to ask some questions. And then when it like goes into the next scene, which was the end, I'm laying there looking at the clock, the red digital letters on the clock. And man, I'm getting in the sun. I'm going to back up. So I'm looking at this clock, and I realized that an hour and a half had passed. An hour and a half had gone by in this vision. Now, I got to tell you, I was blown away, totally blown away about what I just saw in for months, that was all I could think about. And I prayed and prayed that I wanted to know. I didn't understand everything at that point, and I wanted to know what was going on. And I really didn't get any direction, and I felt like it was going to happen any time, right? Like I felt like that he was showing me that, and it was going to start happening. Well, then years go by. He showed me more visions over the years, more things. By the 90s, this is like in 87, by the late 90s, 98, 99, I was starting to think, why did he show that to me? I couldn't see it even getting close to coming to anything like what he was talking about. It was actually not people weren't looking for God more. They were actually leaving God, fast as they could go. But only recently, hi Della, recently, the last 3 years, he started giving me more dreams and visions again, and only telling me that, remember that vision that he took me in way back. He said, get ready, get ready. So now 3 years ago, when he said get ready, I was thinking any minute again, like any month. Oh man, I was getting excited. And then months go by, a year goes by, and I'm start asking him, like, you said get ready. I felt like this is going to happen anytime. Only recently now, he told me July. 3 years ago, he told me July. Be waiting for July, watching for July. And then he started showing me visions of demons coming on the earth that never been on the earth before. That the earth hasn't seen this evil ever. And it's coming for this time, right? Well, July, this last July was the time. This July is when these evils came. It came, it started actually in April with a comet. He gave me a vision of a comet coming, and he told me the most evil demon is coming in this with a comet. But it was like November, and there wasn't any comets or anything. But then in April, they said the demon comet was coming. And that blew me away. Like, what? A demon comet? Really? I started researching it. Yep, a demon comet came in April. And then I knew what he was showing me was coming. These demons are coming. And then July was actual tipping point for everything to start. And since July, it's been off the hook, right? I mean, we're really seeing it play out now, and I think we're getting so close. I don't know the date or anything. All I know is people better get ready, because this is probably going to be the worst and best time on earth. For those that believe, it's going to be the best because Jesus is coming. For those that don't believe, it's going to be the worst until they figure out how to find Jesus. Because, I mean, that's what it all boils down to, is that. But that's my vision, and thought I would share that with you guys. And that's my reason for starting the membership thing. I don't think anything's going to happen with it, but God's in control of everything. And I don't limit him on anything, absolutely anything. But thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with me. I really enjoy it. And I'll be back. I want you to know I love you guys. God loves you guys. And I want to pray for you. I pray the Holy Spirit land on you and help you to find your authority. Find the words to say to send the demons packing, and sickness and disease. I pray the Holy Spirit leads you daily. I pray that Every area of your life is blessed abundantly in Jesus' name. All right, you guys, you have a good one. I'll see you real soon. And I'm not just saying that, you know. God bless every single one of you. I got to start cleaning up that backyard that you guys saw. Anyways, take it easy. We'll see you soon. I love ya.